It's time for white people to pay for privilege, the equality tax. I've been sitting on this for a few days, unsure if I should spend any time on it. When I first saw it, I thought it had to be satire, but sadly I don't think it is. It's featured on WeSplain.com, a website that, quote, features insights and anecdotes from the oppressed. Egalitarianism and social justice is our mantra. It's irrefutable, white people are privileged. Recognition of this basic fact of life is not enough. It's time to take action to level the economic playing field. At a time when people of colour are still tremendously disadvantaged, despite the best efforts of affirmative action policies, something else must be done. Current US tax policy fails to recognise the inherent economic disadvantages that people of colour face on a daily basis. Racist employers, a disproportionate targeting of minorities by law enforcement, racial wage gaps, poor inner city schools, these all contribute to what is an undeniable reality for minorities, a reality that equates to an unfair economic disadvantage. To even the playing field, the privileged should pay more tax. I don't know how much more, but it must be more. Let's start at 5%, as if centuries of subjugation could ever be righted by such a minuscule percentage. Certainly the privileged can stand to spare 5% with all their economic advantages. What would a 5% equality tax mean? $151 billion. First, we have to do some math. According to usgovernmentrevenue.com, in the fiscal year 2017, the US government will bring in $3.64 trillion from federal taxes. According to taxfoundation.org, white Americans pay 83% of the federal income tax. This means that white Americans are responsible for approximately $3.02 trillion that the government will receive in 2017. Add 5% to this number, and this means that minorities will benefit by a total of $151 billion. How would we use it? While extracting this money is the most important aspect, not far behind is how it's used. We must ensure that this money is used where it will benefit minorities the most. If we kept things simple, we could redistribute the money based on non-Caucasian race status. According to infoplease.com, whites account for 63.7% of the population, a population of 308.7 billion, that's meant to be million, based on the 2010 census. This leaves $151 billion to be dispersed over 36.3% of the population, or $112 million. That's $1,348 for every US minority individual, or roughly $3,000 per minority household on an annual basis. While $3,000 can never rectify centuries of abuse, it could at least give minorities the financial tools to compete in a white male-dominated society. Okay, firstly, even if this utterly spastic proposal resembled anything close to sensible, extracting money from the people is never the most important aspect. The cost of running the country, or how the money is to be used, is always the most important aspect. The population should be taxed based on its government's financial obligations. And secondly, I think this fucking moron has actually just quoted us the numbers he's quoted us, remaining completely oblivious to what I imagine is jumping off the screen at most of us. White people make up 63.7% of the population, yet they pay 83% of the federal income tax. Meaning non-white people make up 36.3% of the population and only pay 17% of the federal income tax. So all things being equal, white people are already tipping in $710 billion worth of federal income tax that non-white people aren't. And this whinging entitled cunt thinks they should be stung another $151 billion, bringing that $710 billion up to $861 billion. For fuck's sake, cunt, why not just make it an even trillion? I mean, what's a lazy $1 trillion between friends? This new tax initiative must account for several demographic factors in order to be the fairest and most effective. The following could represent a potential tax breakdown based on these demographic factors. Single heterosexual Caucasian males, equality tax 5%. Single heterosexual Caucasian females, equality tax 4.5%. Married heterosexual Caucasian family, equality tax 4%. Non-cisgender Caucasian, equality tax 3%. Cause nothing says equality like tax penalties based on the colour of your skin.
I think he might actually be spastic.
Definitely some type of retardation going on, isn't there?
I mean, it's hard to tell the difference between him talking and some dude sucking a dick, to be honest, because it sounds real similar.
You just wanted to talk about dicks again, Tim. Why do you always bring up dicks?
You can suck my dick.
Fuck off, Tim. Now, believe it or not, we still haven't seen the stupidest part of this article. Sometime after it was published, the website added this update from the author. Update. We have reached out to the author of this article. They have confirmed that if you were born white but identify as a different race or other kin, you would be void from paying the equality tax. You would just have to submit proof that this transformation is genuine. Yeah, proof that you're transforming into a fucking foxkin or some shit. Fucking hell. See ya.